My name is Maria Mahani and this week's Aqua tip we're using the kickboard. Now, what we're going to be doing with the kickboard today is we're going to be doing a surfing action. Now, I've demonstrated how to surf with both hands on the board, but what I haven't done is demonstrate how you can do it with just one arm. And it's awesome. So, what's a surf? For those people who have not seen previous videos, fingers open on top of the board, knows how big the board is, very important, it's this size. A bigger board is a lot harder. A smaller board feels like it's going to keep coming out from underneath your hands. This is ideal. It's just enough surface area to not make it too ridiculous. And we're pushing the board through the water on an angle. Now, if you angle it up high, yep, it's actually a lot easier. So if you get more of the board out of the water, it's easier. If you get more of the board in the water, it's harder. And the stronger the angle, the more difficult it becomes. Not just for your upper body, but I'm feeling it in my core and my abdominals. Really cool. Now, when you're doing this, also because you're going to anchor your feet on the bottom of the pool, as I push to the right, it's my left inner thigh that feels it. As I push to the left, it's my right inner thigh is feeling the activity bracing against the bottom of the pool. So it's a great adductor exercise as well, trying to keep your feet on the bottom of the pool. Now, we've done the one arm, both arms, but what about when we do it with one arm? Now, doing it with one arm is great because you can give one arm a rest whilst you perform the exercise on one side. You might not tilt it as much and you might not bring it down as low because it requires a lot more effort, and then you swap sides. And it's in the swapping sides that becomes a little bit more challenging. But with the opposite hand that's not on the board, spread the fingers wide and follow through. And try and create as much turbulence and as much force with the opposite arm, which you won't be able to match it, but you're trying hard. So it's a really good way to sort of explain to people how to use water when they're not using a piece of equipment like a kickboard. So we're doing one arm, wow, over, out. It's such a great exercise, it's really effective and you feel it straight away. It requires a fair bit of muscular activation. So how do you demonstrate this on land? I'll show you a little bit later. But a cool activity for upper body strengthening work, definitely great for the abdominals, core muscles, and inner thighs. And that is this week's Aqua tip. As I mentioned in the pool, I'm going to demonstrate how to demonstrate the surfing action on land. Now, clearly I can't, super glue my hand to the board, but what I do use is 2 rubber bands. Now, with an orange board, it's not so obvious, right? But I want to bring it up nice and close to the camera so you can see it's 2 bands. Now, what I do, and they're the thick bands, see the thick rubber bands? Really important that they're thick because they won't break. And now I just slip my hand underneath the rubber bands and voila, I have a board that's stuck to my hand. Because with one hand, you need to be able to rest as much of your palm spread open as possible and your wrist to be able to control it. Now, remember, when you're in the pool, you're not doing this. You've got your feet apart, you're actually angling the board and you're rotating. Notice how I'm lifting one shoulder, I'm dropping one shoulder down. My fingers are open on the opposite hand, and I'm asking my participants to pull through the water and to angle the board. Now, get them to start by talking about the angle. So this is how I would teach it. Okay, everyone, place the board underneath your right hand. I want you to sit fairly close to the surface, not too much of an angle, and now drag the left arm. So once you feel the same sort of intensity in your left arm, now play around with the angle. So try and go a little bit more of an angle or drop it down a little bit lower. I want you to just explore what you're capable of managing. Now if it's too hard, just make it more shallow. So you're just sort of skimming across the surface with not much of an angle and not much of the board going in the water. But if you're stronger, bring it down lower and really push through the water. And get your body to feel this. You should feel this in your abdominals, you should feel this in your chest, and you'll be feeling it in your inner thigh as you drag the board from one side to the other. And I describe things with a fair bit of detail because I want my participants to really maximize on the movement pattern. Switching hands isn't a problem. Of course, you can go to 2 hands, because of the rubber bands, you can do that, and then you can go to one hand, yeah? And that's a really effective way of being able to get the board to go from one hand to the other, even when you're in the pool, yeah? It's in a really effective way. Although you can go quickly from one side to the other, I do movements where they move from one side to the other, and I use the one rubber band. So if the rubber band is the one that I've got on the right side, as I go across, I switch over and go to the opposite side. It just depends on how you want to, or what movements are you going to do. But the rubber bands are the key. They're the secret for you as an instructor to be able to demonstrate with grace and ease. And that is this week's Aqua tip.